Men of worship, it's time to gather. Life Church International presents the Gathering of Men Conference and March Convocation from Wednesday 5th March to Sunday 9th March 2025. The theme is Isaiah 37 verse 31, shall again take root downward and bear fruit upward. The guest minister is Bishop Dr. Charles Kwake from JCC Mombasa, hosted by Apostle David and Pastor Sunte Juma. This meeting will be taking place at the Apostolic House, Kenya Cinema Plaza, along Moi Avenue. Men, rise up, take root, and bear fruit. Be there, be transformed.
Elevate TV, advancing kingdom lifestyle.
Wow, welcome tonight. What a joy, what a blessing to be here. Encourage a pastor. Show is ready right now. My name is Apostle David Juma. I'm so glad to be with you here tonight, and a special guest. I am looking forward for the time we're going to have together. I want to invite you to enjoy this show tonight in the name of the Lord. Now, this is a show designed to talk to leaders, church leaders, the people in the front line, whether you're a bishop, whether you're a pastor, an evangelist, whether you're in the fivefold ministry, apostles, prophets, and everyone, of course, even in the leadership in the local church. And I tell you what, most believers are always also in the front line. This is your show today as we deal with Encourage a Pastor. Now, before we introduce the guest, I want you to specifically go into your wall right now and do the necessary. Share this page on your wall. Let others tune in. Elevate TV Kenya on YouTube. That's where you're going to get the link, and it's going to be well. Go to Elevate TV on Elevate TV Kenya on Facebook, and also share. It will be a blessing. We need to bring in as many people as possible. Some of you is a good morning, others is an afternoon, and others is in the middle of the night in Asia. To God be the glory. Now, we are here today, and a friend of mine for many years, since 1987.
Right.
That's when we met. And we've tried our best to keep friendship. I am here with Bishop Hirbo Huka, who is the bishop and the leader and the founder of Global Gospel Church here in Kenya, and a man that is born from the northern frontier of Kenya and preaching all over this nation. And to God be the glory. Today we managed to get him, and guess what? We're going to be hearing on these stories and indeed the voices from hardship areas and areas that most people in the urban centers don't go. It's going to be dramatic right here. Glory to God. Right. So you'll be talking to me, sir.
Yes.
But I just want you to look at this camera, just maybe introduce yourself a little bit more. Because, you know, sometimes we miss out one or two things.
Thank you.
You want to say,
thank you, yeah.
You know, you are the chief of Marsabit or whatever.
Yeah, thank you so much. The Lord bless you all. My name is Hirbo Huka. As Apostle David said, I'm the Bishop of Global Gospel Churches in Kenya, and I come from Marsabit. Was raised born and brought up in Marsabit, and began doing ministry right from Marsabit. God bless you.
Awesome. And we thank God for you. Now, this man, we were in high school together. Can you imagine that?
Right.
I mean, it was amazing.
I mean,
you found me.
Yes, I found you, and
I don't know how we located each other.
I mean, you know, the first day I reported, there was a fellowship. Then you guys gave me time to give testimony.
Oh, wow.
And in Marsabit, you were taught when you testify, you don't just stand, you jump.
Oh, so you began jumping.
I jumped up, and I think that in itself
Made
picked
you to be
me.
noticed.
I was noticed among many other Christian students.
Yeah.
So we became friends. I was eating from your desk, from your table, where the captains were eating. I was never a captain.
Yeah.
So you were a sports captain, and
Yeah.
so I will always accompanied you wherever you were going,
Yeah.
and I had a lot of benefit.
I'm telling you. And then when I became the chairman of the Christian Union, when I handed over to this man.
Right.
And he became the leader of the Christian Union.
Yes, yes.
The famous Kangaroo School.
Yes, true.
What
true.
a blessing and what
We thank
many
God.
things
We
God
thank
did
God.
right
We
there.
thank God.
Now, because we're going to be dealing with the frontiers.
Right.
And areas that many people would call hardship areas.
Yes.
You know, when part of government are here, because I know you've worked with government.
Yes.
When they send their staff in areas that are a little bit tough, hardship areas,
Yes.
even the allowance a little bit more.
Yeah, sure.
But it doesn't happen in the ministry.
It's different when it comes to ministry.
Right.
Right.
But first of all,
Yes.
where do you come from a little bit more? Where you come from?
Yes.
Marsabit where?
Marsabit town.
Oh, Marsabit town.
Marsabit town, right in the heart of Marsabit town.
That's where you were born
That's
and
brought up. And I received the Lord Jesus at Moyale. Moyale.
People get saved in Moyale.
Yes.
So how did that happen? Because I was about to ask you how you got saved.
You know,
So,
I was in Form 2. And
which high school are you, first of all? There are a lot of stories here, but we're going to tie all of them together.
somebody said the world is coming to an end.
Oh, okay.
And I was quite scared.
Yeah.
But after some time, I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Then as a Form 2 student at Moyale Boys
Yeah.
Secondary School,
Yeah.
I was walking from town back to school. And there's a big bridge between Moyale Town and Moyale Boys, a place called Butiye. On that bridge, there was a heavy cloud that came over me.
Wow.
And I sensed God was with me.
Right.
On that bridge, I committed my life to Christ.
Oh, wow. So, but did you know what it means to commit your life to Christ?
All I knew was committing your life to Christ was just to pray every day.
Wow.
Just that. So I joined with another brother who was formerly a Muslim, and he joined. I joined him and we started praying together. And so all we could do was pray, pray, pray. Anytime we are free, at night, in the evening, we're praying.
And you are praying in the name of Jesus?
In the name of Jesus.
Wow. So how does Moyale now come in?
Moyale, I was a student there.
Okay.
I was a student, Form 1 up to Form 3, Moyale Boys.
Okay.
Form 4, Marsabit Boys. There we
I-
met in Kangaroo.
Oh,
Form
I
5.
get it.
Yes.
I get it.
Yes.
And but now you are a bishop. And we
Yes.
thank God for the journey you have had. But many people want to know, and I always ask guests who come here.
Yes.
And now you've said how you got saved. How did you get into ministry?
Mine is a little bit funny because what happened is from the time of our conversion, our pastors taught us to reach out to the community in your neighborhood.
Yeah.
And so during school holidays, we're going to different villages preaching.
Yeah.
And so before even 6-7 months were over, we were casting out demons, praying for the sick. You know, and my parents did not know that I'm born again. So I was fasting every morning at Moyale Boys as a Form 2 student.
Yeah.
So I walked to town, I found a madman. In Moyale, then, there were a few Christians.
Yeah.
And so I casted out the demon out of that man. And the demon spoke in Kiswahili.
What did they say?
They said, where? I told them, Toka! And then they asked me, Twende wapi? So school holidays preaching. Then I came to Kangaroo.
Yeah.
It was the same story.
Yeah, same story.
All over. You remember our prayer meetings under the trees and all that.
I'm telling you.
And so then after that, I went to school to study clinical medicine.
Yeah.
At Portrees.
Yeah.
Then from there, I became the chairman of the CU, went for missions, became again the chair of all the chairmen of CUs.
Yeah.
Then after that, I was posted to do internship at Kakamega, preach in the wards,
Yeah.
preaching in the wards. After my internship, I was sent to Bungoma to head a hospital, to be the boss of a hospital.
Yeah.
So I am now the boss.
Yeah.
So if I preach, what's the problem?
That's no problem.
So I preached. People got saved.
Yeah.
I was preaching on Monday and Friday when there's a huge turn-up of patients
Oh, wow.
in the outpatient department.
Wow.
To my colleagues and the patients.
So what happened
People
is-
got saved.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to
Yeah.
answer that question with
Yeah.
many words.
Yeah.
When people got saved, I had to keep them somewhere. You get it?
Yeah.
So I'm now the boss. I can't accord myself the hospital hall.
Yeah.
And so I asked one of the men to apply to me to get the hall. So
And
now
then you would approve.
I approved for myself.
Yeah.
And so out of that, a fellowship was born
Yeah.
that ballooned out of my house to the hospital hall. Then, now, people are asking different areas to come do crusade. We do crusade. People
Yeah.
are born again. People giving us land for free.
Wow.
At a place like, Dr. Kiberenge's home.
Yeah.
He comes from around there.
Yeah.
And so we planted a church there. We planted another church somewhere out of crusades. So churches were born. Now, I did not know that I am a pastor. Because for me, it was growing into it by reason of function.
Yeah.
And so, when I looked back, we had 5-6 churches already. So, essentially, I do not know when I became a pastor.
I like that. You know, let me tell you.
Yeah.
It will be probably comforting for you. I've sat here with very many people
Yeah.
that are in the ministry.
Yeah.
And every time I ask that question,
Yeah.
some had very major dramatic experiences
Yes.
with God.
Yes.
Others, nothing like it.
Yes.
They just followed the Lord, followed
Yes.
those others who are preaching, followed missions,
Yeah.
and they found themselves where they are.
Yes.
And I think that's your story. That's amazing.
Right.
It looks like today's generation,
Yes.
before we go to the hardship areas,
Yes.
when they get saved, it's like they don't get into witnessing, winning souls and whatever. It's like they're kept somewhere and told you are not ready.
Yes.
I think things have changed, unfortunately.
Really. Us, when we got saved, the first thing we were doing, we were reaching out
Yeah.
to women selling under the verandas in Marsabit. We were preaching to the people in the hospital.
Wow.
Right in the hospital. I mean, in an attire of a doctor, and I'm preaching to patients.
Wow.
Yeah.
That was the original Christianity.
Yes.
This
You
other
get
one,
saved to reach out.
to reach out.
Yes.
So, Kenya has urban centers
Right.
and rural areas.
Sure.
There are a lot of ministries in urban centers, like this humongous city of Nairobi,
Yes.
and where you also have a church.
Yes.
And then there are rural areas, and the north is basically what we call the frontiers.
Right.
And today we are talking about the voices from hardship areas. Before I can shoot the first question, I want to ask you, those that are coming in online, please to go ahead and begin to register yourself. What do I mean? Begin to make the comments. Begin to tell us where you're watching from. Get engaged. Get your friends in. Samuel Dahi, please, thank you for coming in on Facebook. We want more people come in. Send it to your father, the bishop. I happen to know you, you know. And those on the YouTube, please get going and let's get to know where you're watching us from. And thank you, Ambogo. Thank you, Jane Jerry. Thank you, David Kingola, and all the others that are in. We want you to pass this on to as many people as possible. We want to really ask you, even as our viewers, whether you have ever gone to any frontier regions, whether you have ever gone to very hard areas where even the weather is harsh, you know, the communities, the traditions, and it looks unreached. Let us hear what your experience is. But today, we are glad we are listening to God's servant right here in the name of the Lord, Bishop Hirbo, Huka. Those names are difficult for me. We used to call him other names, but by the way, this man has preached in my village.
Yes. The name of the...
Mokindori.
Yes,
You could not even-
Mukindori, and even the larger areas called the...
Kerugoya.
Kerugoya, we did a lot of meetings.
Yeah.
And in your village, the first crusade.
Yes, in Mokindori.
Mokindori.
19,
yes.
I think,
88.
88. And drunkards got saved.
Yeah, that was historic.
Oh yeah, that was
Yes,
major. These guys had just finished high school and they are preaching the gospel.
Yes.
What a blessing. So thank you, Geoff Mashia. We want to hear what is part of your experience, and of course you're working in a hospital, so you can preach like this, Bishop.
Yeah.
You know, but you be careful with how the rules of engagement have changed.
Yes.
I don't know what's
Yes.
going on.
Yes.
But so now, in a nutshell,
Yes.
how is really preaching, pastoring, because this is an encourager pastor. Urban setup of ministry, and I will not say rural areas. I will say frontier rural areas.
Okay.
Of course, the differences. Let's hear your observations, because you have preached in both.
Yeah. Now, let me talk about the rural areas or the less privileged areas in terms of amenities.
Yes.
When you talk of hardship area, you're talking about you do not get clean water,
Yeah.
you don't get electricity,
Yeah.
you don't get good transport
Yeah.
of means of moving from one place to another.
Yeah.
And again, the terrain is poor,
Right.
security issues.
Yeah.
All these now make us think of hardship area in this kind of
And that's a real Africa.
understand. Yes, and I have done a lot of missions in these regions now, hardship areas.
Yeah.
Some point we're sleeping on the floor, not floor, cemented floor, but you're sleeping. Is it, how do you put it?
On the soil.
On the soil itself. Your shoes are your pillows.
Yeah. I can imagine.
And we've done that. Even in the past, recent past, we've been able to do that by reaching out, as we reach out to communities.
Yeah.
And now, in the rural areas, the people you minister to them in all dimensions, in all aspects of life.
That's correct. Before we come there,
Yes.
tell me some of the names of some of the regions, villages, areas you have gone to in the last 30 years.
Yeah.
You just remember 5.
Yeah, just 5.
No. As many as you can.
Okay. We have ministered in, Marsabit has so many villages.
Yeah.
Marsabit town has so many villages. We
Yeah.
ministered in most of those villages, among the Rendile, among the Turkana,
Yeah.
among the Gabra,
Yeah.
among the Borana, among the Burji, among
Yeah.
the Dasanach. This
Yeah.
is encompass the larger, vast part of the desert of Marsabit.
Wow.
And we have driven 250 kilometers right in the desert, in the middle of nowhere. And, the other time we went to Samburu people. An organization asked me to feed people, and so they gave us funds to feed people. And we drove 150 kilometers in the desert, and my wife usually says, don't eat wheat, don't eat wheat.
Yeah, in the cities.
I went with her, and maybe she's watching, and said, don't eat wheat, don't eat sugar, nini. And after a whole day was gone with no food, she was among the first people to grab bread without even picking the slices. She grabbed the whole of it with a packet of milk in her mouth. And so generally, among
That's a Marsabit.
North Hor,
The North Hall.
North Hor, Marlal.
Yeah, Mara.
Yes, Mara is very cold.
Yeah.
Talk of Maikona.
Where is Maikona?
Maikona is before you reach North Hor.
And North Hall is at the border.
North Hor is not at the border.
Is that still Marsabit?
It's still Marsabit.
Wow.
Now, after North Hor, along the eastern side of Lake Turkana, as you go, drive in the desert, you reach the border town, and the Merile community are there.
Wow.
Yeah, and you have Merile warriors coming from Ethiopia, coming from Kenya, like that. Wow. And so we have ministered in the larger part of Marsabit County.
Wow.
The desert, you see, the Jalbi Desert.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so, really, if I name places, talk of Gas, a place called Gas, you have to go with very good security.
Because of
yes,
course,
you
of the
have
travels.
to get police to escort you as you go do ministry.
Now that's Marsabit.
You
How
see,
about the next county?
the next, Marsabit is very big.
Yeah.
The next county is now Isiolo.
Just here.
Yeah, Isiolo, but now we are deep inside Isiolo.
Because Isiolo is, we know the Meru side.
Now there is another part of Isiolo that borders Samburu.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. Like Marlal is Samburu County.
Yeah.
And there are many villages within Marlal. And then we have the Lodwa Kakuma, Kalobei.
Yeah.
Yeah. The first time I went there, I couldn't sleep because the mattress has soaked heat.
Oh,
so much heat. So you shower 5 times a night to sleep.
Oh my
Nalala kidogo, you wake up, you have to go again shower. Then I discovered the best way to sleep on plastic chairs. You sit on the plastic chair, and you put your legs on another plastic chair, and then you are able to sleep well.
Because the plastic chair will not be hot.
It doesn't absorb heat.
Oh my goodness.
Yes.
And this is Kenya.
Kenya for you.
Jesus.
The real Kenya.
I don't know where you guys have been, Lord Almighty. We have people and people.
Yes.
Now, this is Marsabit. This is Isiolo. Now, then there is Mandera Wajir.
Yes, yeah, Mandera Wajir. I was doing a different type of missions in Garissa and Wajir.
Wow.
Yeah, reaching out to the community around that area.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, that's another story.
There's another story, yeah.
And then the other side of Turkana.
Turkana, yeah, we've planted churches in Turkana.
Yeah.
We've baptized people there, and we are running some churches around there.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So, when
On your way to Lodwar, Kakuma, Kalobei, and beyond, as you go to South Sudan.
Wow.
So essentially, most of our churches are in needy areas. Needy areas.
So, you know, a person in the city will always be thinking about how many members.
Oh.
Are we able to pay for this hall?
In northern Kenya, you don't need a hall. You just need a big tree, and you have a church.
Just a tree.
A big tree or a valley is cooler. It's cooler than a classroom.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. Even in fellowships, God moves. People have nothing but the hunger for God. I went there one day with Mzungu, with a white man. He calls himself Apostle Mjinga. So
why was he? What's the name?
He says you either have to be foolish, ugly, or poor for the Lord to use you.
You have to be angry
or
foolish
or poor.
Or poor. So all these had some people trying to stay in the cities.
Yes.
Wasting time.
We sang one song with no instrument.
One song.
One song. He doesn't understand this language. You know what he was saying? I heard him say, Lord, kill me. Kill me here. Kill me here. He's an American. I say, what? What will happen if this guy dies here? We'll have a problem with American embassy.
Yeah.
But he didn't die. Then I asked him, he's called John, why did you ask God to kill you? He said, when you guys worship the Lord in your vernacular language,
Yeah.
I sense the move of God under this tree. And there was no better time to die than that time.
Because of the purity and the sweetness.
Yes, of
the presence of
the
God
presence
and
of
worship.
God. And you know, Apostle, I have seen miracles happen right in villages. We've seen cripples walk.
And
Blind eyes open.
There's no media.
There is nobody to, of course, broadcasters.
And say nothing.
Yes, but communities know the church is the answer to our crisis, to our problem.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
So, ministry. Now, let's think about this pastor who is watching from Githurai. And nothing wrong with Githurai.
Yes.
Let's say from Karen.
Yes.
And from Kiambu.
Yes.
And from Machakos.
Yeah.
Or wherever.
Yeah.
And they have probably a vision and a burden to go to the north.
Wonderful.
How would you, in 2-3 minutes, prepare them for what?
Okay. I think the Lord prepared us by reason of being born in that area.
Yeah.
And understanding the languages of the communities.
Yeah.
If I'm traveling today with you to Marsabit,
Yeah.
we have to pack our vehicle with water. Because after you start driving, after Isiolo, as you drive towards Marsabit, you see small children on the road holding empty jerry cans. So you have to keep on dropping bottles of water. Okay? And of course, again, you go minister among communities that are needy. They have no food, they have no water.
Wow.
And so, if you're planning to go begin a ministry in the north, you need to mobilize resources to be able to help you settle down. The communities you need to disciple don't just have spiritual needs.
Yeah.
They are equally devastated in terms of physical needs.
Yeah.
But a solution can be found for that.
So when you go to a village anywhere in the north,
Yes.
you have to think in terms of taking care of their needs before you can even open your mouth.
Evangelism in 21st century,
Yes.
it's need-based approach. It's called need-based approach.
Explain that.
What I mean by that, I do a lot of medical missions.
Yeah.
The medical missions are essentially meant to help treat the physical condition, medical conditions of patients, decent medical care.
Yeah.
We do cataract surgery, we do general medical clinics, we do vet missions.
Yeah.
And when we do that, the community feels, we feel their need.
Right.
We feel them and we are taking care. Someone has stayed with a prescription for medicine for hypertension for the last 2 weeks, 2 months.
And they have never gotten a template.
We give them for 3 months and leave them.
So if you tell them, I give you this medication and pray for you,
yes,
they are ready for prayer.
A patient is on the operation table.
Right.
We want to do cataract surgery, and we tell him or her, Jesus, some of them, they don't know Jesus.
Yeah.
They confuse Jesus for Moi.
Oh, no.
So you have to do comparative theology here.
Oh, my
Moi
God.
will take you to Nairobi. Jesus will take you to heaven. It's so fulfilling to do missions in the north among this community.
Jehovah.
So the thing is,
They knew Moi.
they knew Moi.
They would hear him on radio over and over. 24
Yes,
years.
they
of
will
course.
hear
What do you
the
expect,
voice of
course?
Moi.
Yeah.
Yeah. But now Jesus, they want to, you have to do comparative. In one case, we went to a village early in the morning.
Right.
Before they took the animals out. You know what happened? We gave them an example. There was a blind man who was seated around there as we were preaching to the Morans. And so we said, Jesus opened the eyes of a blind person like this one. And there was a mad mom, an old woman who died, whose son died before the son got married. You see, that means a lot.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Dying, your son dying before he gets married means a lot of things.
Yeah.
Means no continuity of genealogy.
Yeah.
And so, but Jesus raised this boy back to life. He matured up and then got married and had children for his mother. So the mother died after she has seen
The grandchildren.
the grandchildren. Now you have to storytell the Bible.
Yeah.
And then the same Jesus later on was killed by some men. You know what happened?
Yeah.
The Morans now, walisimama, they stood up.
They want to know how.
How did they kill such a good man? Take us there, we go and kill those people.
Wow.
The Moran wanted to kill the Jews who killed Jesus. Because the gospel, the Bible has been interpreted for them in the language they understand best.
Right.
And they personalized it.
Wow.
Do you know we are given space for churches?
Free.
You have problem with the land? Come over there.
Oh my goodness.
They tell you, build a hospital here, build schools here. As much as you want, have it. Another chief was telling us, unaona hii church yenu, your church in Nairobi, bring it here.
He does not understand the dynamics.
He doesn't understand. And you plan to go to the north. Really, 21st century evangelism requires you to have something
that you can help.
accompanying your Bible. Don't go empty-handed, because the communities need their needs met. Physical needs. The good news to a hungry man is not the gospel of salvation.
Yeah.
It is food first. Then they'll see the essence of salvation.
Now, don't go anywhere. This is Encourager Pastor. We are listening to voices from these hardship areas. We should have used another word, but purely from the frontier.
Yes.
And we have Musa, we used to call him in the 80s Musa Hirbo Huka,
Yes.
but he dropped Musa. Now he's Hirbo Huka. He's a bishop. And this man, I've preached with him for many years.
Yeah.
What a blessing, and we are friends with his family. Listen, I want you to tell us, have you been to the frontier regions, and what is your experience? We want to hear the comments right on YouTube and Facebook. We'll be back shortly. Let's take a short break. We'll be back to hear these voices from those regions. God bless you.
Men of worship, it's time to gather. Life Church International presents the Gathering of Men Conference and March Convocation from Wednesday 5th March to Sunday 9th March 2025. The theme is Isaiah 37 verse 31, shall again take root downward and bear fruit upward. The guest minister is Bishop Dr. Charles Kwake from JCC Mombasa, hosted by Apostle David and Pastor Sunte Juma. This meeting will be taking place at the Apostolic House, Kenya Cinema Plaza along Moi Avenue. Men, rise up, take root, and bear fruit. Be there, be transformed.
Well, Sister Talk is back, and there's no better way of starting us off than to gather women and ladies on the 8th of March 2025 at the Kenya Cinema Plaza from 2 p.m. to 5 p.m. Our theme is Woman, Purpose and Excellence. We will be laughing together, we will be learning and unlearning, and also moments of impartation and prayer. We will have great guests joining us, Pastor Lee Wanja and Joyce Omondi. These are dynamic women who are doing great things, not only in the marketplace, but also in ministry. Our registration fee goes for only 500 shillings. You can send your monies on the till number that is running below your screen. Please note, this event will not be aired live on our TV station or on our social media platforms, so you don't want to miss being there in person. I am Linda Talam, and I look forward to hosting you. See you there.
Welcome back. This is an amazing show tonight. We are grateful to see many of you on Facebook and YouTube. Listen, go ahead and call your church members. Pass this on to your congregations and to your friends and share on your wall. Encourage a pastor today is amazing. Listening to voices from the north in terms of what to expect. And I liked one of the highlights of this show, Bishop, is when you talked about how to contextualize the message. To me, that's very life-changing. Because you can't just go and tell them, because I had that story before. They just some people began talking about Jesus, and then they're wondering, where is that man? And so forth. It was complete kind of wrong approach. But I think you have the art of reaching out. The other day we had one of the pastors. I think she's a woman. She has a church here in the city, but she comes from Marsabit.
I know her.
And she told me of these missions they were doing at the border, Marsabit and Ethiopia. And how this one church, there was only one Bible. And people are walking 40 kilometers.
To come and read that Bible. I
mean, I was so touched. So I mobilized some little resources and we bought 300 Bibles. And gave to her and sent to the area to ensure all these, churches and believers can access some Bibles in their language.
Now we have even speaking Bibles.
Oh wow! Yeah, that's good.
And it's you charge it using the solar, which is more than
These
available.
are strategies of reaching the north. That's amazing.
Kenya Bible, Bible Society of Kenya.
Before we come back to that,
Yes.
let's hear some of your, because you highlighted that a little bit, some of the greatest highlights and best moments we'll never forget of outreach in the north. And then later we'll get back to some of the worst experiences, as it were. We want to hear, because it will bring encouragement to many people. Some of the highlights, the best moments of being in the north.
I don't know. Let me use a good language, maybe some easier way to understand. We did a medical camp. And the intention of medical camp is to give decent medical care to the community. But behind the medical camp, we also want to use the same opportunity to open up the community to Christ. And the Bible says when you enter a city or a village, find a worthy man.
Yes.
Or men of peace.
Men of peace.
So as we do medical camp, we are able to identify men of peace.
Yeah.
One of the things that happened is the chief of the area
Yeah.
decided salvation for everybody. He made the decision. Everybody here
Gets it.
So we didn't need to preach much.
Oh, wow.
These are good people.
Oh, wow.
Receive them with everything they have brought.
Wow.
And for me, that was the fulfilling moment in missions.
That story
Yes.
should be in one of your next books.
Yes.
It's one of the mega
Yes,
stories.
yes, yes.
Oh, wow.
So when you see now the young people, the old members of the community, the Morans and
Yeah.
others who just visited,
Yeah.
you know, immediately a church must begin.
Absolutely.
The best way to do evangelism is plant a church.
Yeah, of course.
Yes.
And now that's an important factor we learned in the 90s.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. So we started a church there, and then immediately, because if you have about 750 people getting saved at once,
Yeah.
by the decree of the chief.
But then, how do you get pastors now? Or you have to look at one of them, tell them, be leading songs,
Yes.
read the Bible for them,
Yes.
and pray and go home.
Yeah. Now what we do is we prepare. We do this kind of mission 5 times or 4 times at minimum in a year.
Uh-huh.
We mobilize resources, and now we reach out, and we know who will take care of this community.
Okay.
Some of the cases, in most cases, it's not even our denomination.
Yeah.
We work with existing denomination. It's easier for them to manage
Yeah.
those new souls
Yeah.
than ourselves, because we don't have the capacity to be able to manage. Like in the last 15 years, we've done over 200 churches.
Oh, my goodness.
So we don't have that capacity. So we have to engage. It's now a kingdom dimension.
Yeah, and work with any church on site.
Yes.
Whatever is your name. And whoever is
So
your bishop.
if you have a problem with having churches, we can plant 5 churches in 5 days.
Oh, my goodness.
Because one day we do a medical camp here, and 5 villages come together. We have more than 300 people getting saved.
Oh, my goodness. That's
The
one
following
church.
day we are doing it elsewhere. 700 people getting saved. And so, if you're a pastor and you need churches,
Yeah.
you can go with us and have them. We have no problem with that.
Next time you're doing the mission to the north,
Yes.
we need to come on Elevate TV and we mobilize.
Sure, sure, sure.
Mobilize people, mobilize resources, and everything. And let's become partners with what's going on in the north.
Yeah.
That's
I think I
amazing.
actually needed to share on now what next.
Yeah.
Maybe once you...
Yeah,
yes.
towards it.
Yeah.
So now, that was one of the greatest highlights, a whole village born again. Now, before we go to the next question, I must appreciate each one of you on Facebook that are online right here. Peter Elisha, your friend. Great to see my teenage covenant brother, Dr. Hirbo. I remember how we used our caution money after school to go for a mission in
Yes.
Chicago.
Right,
Let's
right.
keep the fire burning.
Yes.
Tuambukize the younger generation. That's great. Chege Jeremiah, thank you so much for your engagement. Say great to see my you say familiar of these places, Mycons, Karacha, Gas,
Yes.
Hall,
North
Buddha, North Hall,
Yes.
Huri Hills.
Yeah, actually, we are building a church at Huri Hills.
Oh, wow.
So Michael, your friend, should know that. In one of the villages which has no church at all,
This is Chege Jeremiah.
Chege Jeremiah.
Chalbi Desert,
Yeah, Chalbi is
Sabarai,
right. Yes.
Buruk,
Buruk,
with
yeah.
no network coverage during our time. There was no network.
Yeah.
He says the gospel must be preached to the ends of the earth.
Right.
And the other gentleman, Ayub, a few comments. Masita says, personally, I have not been called to the north, but prayers for them. They are really in need-based approach. He has said he's not called there, but he can see, he can hear you. Alex Madeka, Bishop Hirbo is a man after God's heart, always outstanding in his view and approach of the gospel. Now, this other guy said he's done ministry in all these regions, and he served villages in Marsabit, like Gabra. This is the same Mukisa Jeremiah, Gabra Skim,
Yes.
Saganta Wells, Manyata Jilo,
Yeah.
Matarba,
Yes.
Maikona,
We have churches in some of those areas.
North Hall,
Yeah.
Northern Hall, Kagi,
Kargi, yes.
Suguta, Marma,
Yeah, Suguta Marmar, yeah.
Royagayani,
Loyangalani, we've done great mission.
Kagi,
Yeah. Kargi.
Otorot.
Otorot, yes.
Whatever Bishop Huka is saying is true. An empty stomach has no ear.
That's a good one. You know, Apostle,
You must minister to their felt needs for your gospel to be authentic.
True.
Wow.
Felt needs as the physical needs that is really incapacitating communities at the moment. It could be health needs, food or water.
Yeah.
In some places, Apostle, the bandits would stop you just to get a jerrycan of water.
The bandits?
Yes.
And they will not touch you if you give them water?
No.
Now,
Yes.
Kimadi
Yes.
says, first of all, Mashia Geoffrey, the best way of evangelism is church planting. Kimadi says, this is great. We need a visit with you to the north. And Mesha Gashago says, ministry to the hard areas is a necessity.
It is. It is.
So, your worst encounter, before we come back to a few more comments on YouTube. In the north, you had a whole village saved because the chief has said so.
Yes.
But some of you are probably down moments, and really that probably wasn't something you'd want repeated.
Yeah, that's a good one. I think the worst moment we've ever had is we've gone for missions, and maybe one of us dies in the mission field.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. We don't reassure anybody of any security or safety.
So people have died.
Yeah.
Wow.
And you know, when it comes to mission, the God of the Bible is a God of missions.
Yeah.
The Bible is a missionary book.
Yeah.
And the church must be a missionary community.
Yeah.
They either say you either support missions or you go for missions. If not, you must pray for missions. If not, you are against it. There is no vacuum. There is no. You cannot belong anywhere else.
Either you go for missions,
Or you support missions with your
support
money
missions.
and resources.
right?
Or you pray for missions.
Or you pray for missions.
If not,
You are against missions.
yes.
So your worst moment
And it's not a blanket statement.
No.
It is a real statement.
is a reality.
Yes.
So your worst moment is when.
It's now when you lost one of us.
So what happened? Without names necessarily. What happened?
we-
Did they get hungry?
No, it was not because of us. I know some of my friends who went for missions and they were shot. And but in our case, just someone became sick and died.
Okay.
Yeah. And that interrupted our mission, because now as the leader, I have to make arrangement for burial and all that.
Yeah.
Yeah. As much as we release others to go on with the work, but some of us have
another
to
team
pull
had
out and give the humanitarian heart.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. But still willing to go on,
Yeah, we're still moving on.
regardless of the dangers
Yes.
in the
yes.
mission field.
And in some cases, of course, we carry armed security. When they fire, our guys also fire.
So in your training for missions,
Yes.
do you have training on how to shoot?
Not us,
Okay.
but with the security.
Oh yeah, the security.
The police.
Yeah.
We carry them with us.
Yeah.
Especially if I go with you, I must ensure you have adequate security. And part of that is not just praying. I must get firearms. Or, how do we put it? We must get security or police to give us protection
Yeah.
along the way.
So
Some places, just before we arrive, they have hit. And so now our guys have to be alert.
So now, if you have to pick some of these bishops in town and apostles, and you have to do a lot of security, then
Yeah, I have to-
Probably you have to send. We have to adjust the dynamics. It's more expensive. I don't know.
Well, it's not expensive to hire security.
Yeah.
But what happens is, for my own sake, I must
Secure.
hire security,
Yeah.
including where you sleep.
Together with your guests.
Yes. Yeah. You just imagine you're carrying some Americans with you
Yeah.
with no security. When they see white skin,
They want to come for the money.
yes, they want to come for the money, which may not be there.
Yeah.
So we have to. But in some instances, we have. When they fire, and some of those are now worst instances.
Yeah.
When they fire, we fire back.
Okay.
And so girls like this, you carry along with you, they hear gunshots,
They begin to cry.
and you're going for missions,
Yeah.
they don't move in the same direction. So, but that opens. Once we fire, they give way and we go.
Oh wow. Dynamics of the North. This is strange stories right here.
Yeah.
Now, very many of you indeed are making comments. Jael Mukima tuned from Nyeri town and went to Garissa and ate camel meat for the first time. That's good. We went to Hola down there
Yes,
in Wenje,
yes.
and we had hippopotamus
Yes.
in 1991.
Wonderful.
So that's wonderful. And you have just been eating goats and sheep, you know nothing.
Yeah, they should also drink tea from camel milk. Very, very nutritious.
Nutritious or strange taste. So one has to have a missionary stomach.
Now, we say this: wherever he leads me, I will follow.
I will follow.
Whatever they give me, I will
will eat.
swallow.
I will swallow.
Yes.
Wow.
They cannot receive your Jesus if you reject their food.
Oh, by the way.
Yes.
That's correct.
You refuse, because one of the things they will give you is milk, which is not boiled. We went with a brother, actually with some sisters also. We asked them, Kuleni, just eat without washing your hands.
Yeah.
Then they said, I have to wash. Then they said, you want water? So one of the small boys ran to the rod, fetched water from the rod, which is more dirty than our hands.
Yeah.
No, you wanted to wash your hands. Now you can wash. He said, no, let me just eat that way.
Oh my.
While you're taking your tea, the housefly would just fall in. You just remove it and continue taking your tea. You will not die.
Yeah.
In fact, if anything, the flies in those areas,
They are sanctified.
they are clean, cleaner than those ones in Nairobi.
Now, mission into the frontier. We're going to get into that and the way forward.
Yes, the way
because
forward.
of our time.
Right.
But we appreciate many of you guys on YouTube. Jane and Jerry from Kirgoya. God bless you. Patrick Wambogo tuned in. The Lord bless you. You are waiting. And David Kingol, of course, in Utawala. Wanjaki Babu, listening and watching from Marsabit, Hardship area.
Wow.
Oh, you are already in Marsabit.
Who is that?
He's one of our daughters in
Yes,
the house.
wonderful.
And Peter K watching from Kabete, fellow clinic officer, very inspiring, and all of great testimony. And Lois Njagero, it says you're tuned in and this is very inspiring. And of course, Karen Mwehaki, oh, I love the stories. Don't just love the stories, go to the north. And Collins Indimuli, pastor is being encouraged this night. Wow. Now, and then two more, then we ask you the question. Nyaga Meshak says, great insight here. I remember once a mission on the Turkanas and some very genuine new believers told us when we visit them again, we should carry Jesus with us since we told them he is alive.
That's a good one. Yeah.
You say Jesus is alive?
Come with him.
Wow.
Yeah. One brother said, in Moyale, we're doing an open air meeting.
Yeah.
He said, he comes from Meru, that brother comes from Meru, he's a nurse. He said, Jesus is the bread of life.
Right.
My people said, why is this man insulting Jesus? How can Jesus become bread? They couldn't get it. They almost beat him. Why is insulting?
He's insulting Jesus, calling him bread.
Yeah.
In
So
Mass.
now, storytelling the Bible, as you said, contextualizing is very key.
Wow.
Yeah. So,
Jack Wambugu says, take us to those who killed such a good man. You talked about that.
yes.
Is that amount to a book? I read about a film some evangelists made and went with to India.
Yes.
And the Indians shouted, they are killing an innocent man.
Amazing.
So
Amazing.
what advise pastors and church and God's people on how we're going to reach out to the frontier?
One.
And the way forward.
Yeah. The way forward will be, you want to do missions in the north, or it is important you partner
Yeah.
with ministries that are already doing something on the ground.
So partner with ministry on the ground.
Yes.
Right.
That will give you soft landing.
Yeah.
And you'll still be able to fulfill your visions.
Right.
We have partners, some of them don't want to preach,
Yeah.
but they just want to build structures,
That's correct.
church buildings.
Yeah.
Others just want to do medical camp. Preaching is your business.
Yeah.
Say, me, I just want to help you, give you medicine.
Yeah.
What you do with medicine is up to you. And how you give it to people is up to you.
Yeah.
So getting partners of different types
Yeah.
is very key. Not just preachers, but partnerships.
Yeah.
So partnership is very key.
Right.
We all have space.
Yeah. For everybody.
Inexhaustible, yeah. You can't exhaust it. It's so much of the work. And alone, you run alone, you will not make it.
Yeah.
You need partners. Number 2, discipleship programs.
Yeah.
Is one thing to give your life to Christ, is a different thing altogether following Jesus in your path of life.
So what are the materials in the North that can really be of help? What do you suggest? Discipleship, because you need people on the ground.
Yes. One is the Bible,
Yeah.
the written Bible and the audio Bible.
Provide these Bibles.
Yes.
Yeah.
There's a way the Word of God will speak to people's life.
Yeah.
And it will help them.
Right.
So discipleship materials also can be enhanced. We can, actually I work on some, and we contextualize it so that it fits the community. You don't just pick discipleship material from anywhere and give it to the community.
Now, and are these materials in their language?
No, but it can be
In Swahili, probably?
in Swahili. Yes.
Swahili is okay.
Yes, Swahili is okay.
Yeah.
And also in the common language you speak there is Borana. It can also be converted in Borana.
Right.
You can translate it.
Yeah.
The other thing is now, after partnership and discipleship, now we need what do we call supporters.
Yeah.
Missionary work in the North without support from another team
Yeah.
that has a calling to support mission work.
Yeah.
It's not easy.
I remember
Like-
one time we sent a team to Wajir,
Yes.
right from the Apostolic
Right.
House,
Yes.
many years ago, and we began supplying food. We would put them in the buses in
Yes.
Isili
Yes.
and to Wajir, and we sent a team there for a week. We said, when you go, don't go to preach.
Yes.
Wash their clothes.
Yes.
Clean up their house. Give
Yes.
them support. Let them do the work.
Yes.
Cook their food.
Yes.
And help them.
Right.
And it was very transformative.
It's very, very transforming, yeah. Very effective.
Yeah.
So we need, like, if I am sent there, for example, I need a team behind me.
Yeah.
Because if all I'm going to do is to impact this community, then we need help.
Yeah.
I can confirm, say I can submit to
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
that since my high school life,
Yeah.
we have never been, you see, the churches there that we plant
Yeah.
cannot give back.
There's
Any-
never been offering from the Hardship area
No.
to the bishop.
Yes. The bishop gives to the churches. Unlike,
So there are two types of bishops in Kenya. And I will not add anything. Go ahead.
yeah, I have to work, I have to solicit for support. Friends, my own friends, support me, and I go with support. I want to do missions in the North. I go with everything that I will use.
You go with water, you go with food, you go with the money, you go with everything. You can.
Everything. Even support the team on the ground.
Wow.
And so, the other thing is, I think,
Let me ask you.
Yeah.
So, of course, discipleship has to take place. Is there a point of discipleship process and there? Have you ever introduced offering?
yes, we do offerings.
Okay.
We do offerings.
Right.
But we use the offerings a lot to develop the existing fellowship.
Oh, that's good.
But now, discipleship must come to a place where this needy community should learn to give to God's work
Yeah.
that will impact their children and their children's children.
Yeah.
We are reaching some place in Marsabit.
Yeah.
Some of our churches
Yeah.
are now self-sustaining
Oh, that's good.
and self-propagating.
That's great.
In fact, as we speak like this, one of our Marsabit church is planting a church in the desert.
Oh, my
And we
goodness.
are raising funds to build a church, the only church in that area.
Oh, my
So you can't ask, which church do you go to?
No. Leave that to the city.
Leave to the city guys. And so the other bit of it is, you said number one is, what did you say number one? Is
We said it is partnership.
partnership,
Yeah.
then discipleship,
Then discipleship.
and then support.
Yeah, support.
Support. Then the other bit of it is the brethren who leave these other areas for that area.
Yeah.
They need to get some help to know that it is not just to work as a veterinary officer.
Yeah.
They are sent by the Lord with the title of a medical officer, but they must also enhance the eternal purpose of God in the land through their line of profession.
However risky it is.
Of course, if now you can go to the hospital to work as an officer there,
You can share the good news.
you can share the good news with patients, the way I did it in Western Kenya.
Yeah.
And that's how our ministry was born.
Awesome.
And so the other bit of it is now opportunities that are there in the land, in these risky areas, in these dry areas,
Yeah.
could be inexhaustible, immense, if we only engage in finding out or exploring what opportunities do we have here that can sustain the community to live a good life.
Now, you know, Kenyans talk about, I'm sure you've heard of plot Maguta Maguta. Maguta is another Greek word.
Meaning?
Plots. You know, the Kenyans are busy buying little small plots.
Yes.
Very lucrative, very
Yes,
good, very
yes.
good opportunities. So there we don't talk about little plots or for that.
Of acres.
What
I mean,
opportunities are there in the north?
now,
As we close, because
yes,
our time now
okay.
is up.
There is a lot of opportunities for making money.
In the north.
Yes, for enriching the community. There could be some petroleum somewhere. We leave that to the government.
I hear there's petroleum.
You drive between Marsabit town and Northor, you can see a stretch of breather spaces. You hold the soil like this, it is wet, smelling diesel.
In Kenya, and politicians are asleep.
Yeah, I think there's something we can do as a government. There's something we can do as politicians in the land. Opportunities are there. Flower companies can do
Let's work
something.
with the church. Forget about politicians.
I mean, flower companies. If
Yeah.
there's a Christian somewhere, they can try in Northern Kenya to do flower company.
Oh, wow.
Beekeeping. There is heavy wind that can blow someone.
So,
In fact, as you drive on the highway between Marsabit and Moyale, there are enough signposts telling you, beware of crosswinds.
oh my goodness.
Yes, it can take away your car. It can drift your car out of the road. That wind can be converted into energy.
Oh, wow. Many opportunities. I think when you talk about opportunities for Kenyans, they are ready to risk their lives for the opportunity. Instead of having the call,
Yes.
the passion for God,
Yes.
for souls,
Yes.
and asking God, what can we do? I think going forward, every church in the city, urban centers, must link with the ministry in the north. I think that's our parting shot. I
Yes.
want you to look at the camera and give a parting shot. I mean,
My-
just a quick call, 1-2 sentences.
My parting shot is the church must either send or the church will end. That is it.
The church will either send
Or it will end.
or it will end.
And you justify your existence by sending.
Wow. Not sitting.
No. Sitting has never been a definition of any church movement. Sending is the definition and justification.
I don't want to add nothing. Listen, this is Encourage a Pastor Show. A lot of things are happening from Elevate TV and on the Apostolic House, and I want you to know that you should be part of the move of God. This week, coming week after, of course, you know, Sunday, then we have Wednesday, we have a men gathering or men conference here in the city, and we are going to be talking to men Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and especially men only Friday evening from 5:30 in the Apostolic House, and Saturday morning 8 to 12:30 only in the morning, and Sunday afternoon. But the rest of the day, Wednesday and Thursday, is open even to the ladies. It will be a blessing. We also want you to know the Sister Talk coming up, which is a very amazing one afternoon program. This is a live mentorship for ladies. Sister Talk live mentorship coming on Saturday. The dates are on 8th of March in the afternoon at 1 o'clock all the way to 5 o'clock in the Apostolic House. You're welcome. That's with Linda Talam and a battery of great women of God in the city. So men and women, you are covered this weekend. This is all we had for tonight. Thank you so much, Bishop Hirbo Huka of the Global Gospel Church. If they want to find you, they can find you on social media.
Yeah. By the name Hirbo Huka. Our church is located at Stedmark Gardens, the only urban church.
The only urban church.
Yeah.
Here
In Karen.
Right.
Stedmark Gardens.
Right.
Right.
The rest of the churches are in the frontier.
Yes.
To link both the frontier and the
Yes.
cities.
Yes.
You're most welcome. God bless you. Good night. And keep it here on Elevate TV. My name is Apostle Juma. Was glad to be with you in the show. Bye-bye for now.